Welcome back, my friends, to TFT Hyperroll with Autarch and some more stuff from the new patch. Like I said, I'm going to be switching back and forth while I go through some of these videos that were just fun to play. I've gotten asked a lot about this specific build and whether it's still viable, and yeah, this build is still viable. You can alter it just a little bit because there's some buffs in this patch, and we'll go over the whole thing as we go. Everyone decided on Crescendo, which starts with a silver augment, then gold, and then finishes with prismatic, so the Crescendo. Yeah, why not? And when someone asked, does anyone like this patch, I had to give my honest opinion, which was, for Hyperroll, really not much has changed, at least in my eyes. I've yet to find a new build that I wasn't doing before that I'm suddenly finding myself doing now, except maybe pushing towards this one a little bit more than I was before. I've tried to warn people that Yasuo has actually been nerfed because unless it's a tooltip error, he has not been properly adjusted. I grabbed Component Buffet. That's always my choice if I can get it. The ability to craft items is going to be key in pretty much any match since the items are what make it. In this one, I was one short of being able to get the big shot Corki, so I had to go with just a regular 2-star Corki, which wasn't going to cut it against that team at this point since they have their headliner. Now with our big shot Corki in place, we should have a better time. I used to always put bows on Corki because I like to rush Rageblade, and while I still think it is an absolute key item for him, with the buff to 8-bit, I like to hold back and see if maybe I can get an emblem, so then I can go to 4 8-bit as well. And what that needs, of course, is a Spatula. So once you have a Spatula, then you can go and get an 8-bit emblem. Once you have access to an 8-bit emblem, you have a choice to make. Do you want to go with 6 Sentinels for 8-bit? Very, very doable. Or do you want to try to pivot over to the 6 8-bit and then go for the grand prize? And it's moments like this you need a nudge from your friend at Riot, whoever that may be. In my case, his name is Gary, but getting a Caitlyn kind of said, yeah, I think you want to try to go for 8-bit. There are a few windows where you can do this, and this is one of them, because both Corki and Garen are 8-bit, so you have a chance in Stage 5 of rolling either Corki 8-bit or Garen 8-bit. It is time for our second augment, and Know Your Enemy could work, but we're going to re-roll it. I'm hoping to get Insert Coin here. Didn't get it. I'm not going to pass up on Idealism because I'd like to get some damage onto Caitlyn since she showed up so early for us. Two things working against us right now. We do not have a headliner, and we also got a very late start on 8-bit. So we are not likely to reach the grand prize, although it'll be interesting given how much it was buffed. We got an early Ezreal, so once we get the emblem on him, we can flip over and increase our 8-bit up, and that will also give us a big shot, which will give us a better chance of winning, because right now we're just losing over and over again. Just before the round started, we got our Garen 8-bit locked. Now, this round is probably a goner, but in the next stage, which is where we're going to live or die, we're going to at least be able to go to the 6 8-bit. Item-wise, definitely want the bow. This will enable me to make the Rageblade. It is time for the Crescendo and Prismatic Augment. I decide to go with Hologram because I am so close to a gold 3-star Garen, and being able to have 2 gold 3-star Garens up front, well, that was just a little too tempting, and will hopefully turn around this game, which right now wasn't looking good, but with that Garen up front, I'm feeling a lot better about it. And we got 2 power spikes at pretty much the same time. We're now at the 6 8-bit and having a gold 3-star Garen hologrammed in the front line. Yet this is going to be very hard to get through, and we're going to rack up damage pretty quickly. We are now able to go up to the 4 Sentinels, and even though it's been nerfed, the nerf was so slight, and keep in mind the Sentinels get double the buff that's going to the rest of the team. So at 6, it used to be 60, it's now 55. That's the difference between 110 and 120, which isn't that much. Now, Gary decided to make our lives a lot easier here and gave us a Sentinel emblem. If you get it, that's going to go straight on to Riven, because she is your 6th 8-bit and now will act as the additional Sentinel in the front line. Infinity Edge is an excellent item for Ezreal. You can go blue buff, red buff, or you can go Infinity Edge and then with anything, because just watch when he casts his ult, 1,371 damage to their carry in the corner. It is time for some item choices, and we want to go ahead and finish off Garen. Just throw a Warmogs on. Garen scales well off of health, so if you're going to use Garen as your central tank, you definitely want to stack health onto him. We finally get up to our 2-star Caitlyn, and suddenly the entire texture of this game has changed. We were at the bottom, and in one round, suddenly we are able to just walk through other teams, barely losing any of our players. Item-wise, I would have liked to have picked up something for Ezreal here, but there's nothing really there that'll fit. I really would like a blue buff or red buff on him, so we can go ahead and grab an Even Shroud for the front line, and we'll put it on Riven. Let's take a moment to appreciate how much damage we have in the back line. 292 on Caitlyn, 285 on Ezreal. The 8-bit buff was massive. I'm afraid they're going to nerf it at some point in the future, because when you get to the 6-8-bit, your team becomes nearly unstoppable and is pretty much guaranteed to take you into the top 4. We managed to get a 2-star Lucian, so we have now ticked Rapid Fire as well, which is just going to allow Caitlyn to attack that much faster. With her enhanced damage from 8-bit, it's going to be very hard to stop, and this is a really strong Country Executioner team with 3-star Urgot, 3-star Samira, and a huge Hecarim, but it just doesn't matter. There's too much damage coming out of our backline. The final team is a Disco Dazzler team, which has also become a little more common due to buffs to Twisted Fate, but it's really not going to matter. Watch Caitlyn just take out their entire team, pretty much finishing everything off, and it's GG for everyone. Yeah, big shot Sentinels, 8-bit Sentinels, still strong. Sentinels hold up. Hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have an absolutely awesome day.